Hello, dear students. Thank you to your professor Victoria Marin, who has invited me to have this opportunity and that we could talk about open virtual mobility. So this presentation suggests that virtual mobility and virtual mobility in open context is an opportunity to extend learning in online international contexts. My name is Gemma Tour, and I am a lecturer and researcher at the University of the Balearic Islands, which is the public university of the Balearic Islands in Spain, in the Mediterranean area. And in particular, I am based in Ibiza, where we have a very nice center next to the old town. If you ever come to Ibiza, you are very welcome to visit us here. So I work in teacher education, and also I research in the technology education research group. And currently we are working on methodological strategies for the personalization of learning paths in technology enhanced environments. And also, I'm working in a European project which is called Open Virtual Mobility, and is in here where I have developed this knowledge on virtual mobility, and this is the thing that I am sharing here with you. You can visit the webpage to have more information about it, but also I am here adding this slide with a link to a presentation and a video presentation that our coordinator did on the project, if you would like to have more concrete information about the project. And mobility in higher education is about creating an international learning experience in the framework of collaboration in virtual contexts. It can be and it can be in virtual context. So it can involve students, institutions, and the stakeholders, teachers, and other stuff. Mobility can be physical, can be blended, and can be virtual. And this presentation is about virtual mobility. So physical probably is the most known one, in which students move physically to another country and attend lessons in another university. But then what is virtual mobility? Then it is adding this virtual digital context for these collaborative learning activities. And as you can see, as we have said, it's something institutionally based. This means that there are normally different kinds of frameworks and agreements between institutions. But when we are adding the virtual thing, we are adding the digital context. But also, in the open virtual mobility, we are challenging what is known about virtual mobility. And we address the definition by adding the open context. And we argue that the being open means being digitally open, but also being institutionally open. So the agreements can be also more flexible. I mean, the agreements between institutions. But in here, what I would like to show you is that the open context and the digital context is what makes the difference to virtual mobility, and it is what it is currently very, very relevant for us. In this European project, we have been working on the skills that learners develop. We say that there are 7 skills and also an added concept, an added knowledge on the virtual mobility concept. So I am now here just naming very shortly each skill and a very short explanation for each. So if you work and learn in virtual mobility context, and in particular in open virtual mobility activities, you may develop intercultural skills and attitudes. This means gaining cultural knowledge, understanding cultural perspective, enhancing one's own cultural identity, and applying intercultural awareness in culturally challenging circumstances, for example. Also, it means developing networked learning skills, which means engaging in digital networking, dealing with complexity in networked learning. If you learn in open virtual mobilities activities, you also develop your active self-regulated learning skills, which means being able to self-regulate learning processes, being able to self-reflect on learning experiences, and demonstrating ownership of our own learning. Media and digital literacy means demonstrating learner control, being proficiency in using online learning technologies, being proficiency in assessing quality in courses and resources from online. This means, in fact, being able to learn and develop one's own skills from the massive information that one can access. You will be involved also in autonomy-driven learning, which means developing and demonstrating self-directedness in decision-making on our learning, and then demonstrating independent learning. This means, in the end, being able to choose one's own learning path. Collaborative learning skills mean enhanced teamwork skills, collaborating with peers from different disciplines, collaborating with friends within the context of an international learning experiences, interacting with authentic international resources in foreign languages. And it also means developing open-mindedness, which means being open-minded and tolerant, demonstrating self-confidence in interaction with peers and teaching staff, and show willingness to improve proficiency in foreign languages. Finally, being involved in open virtual mobility activities means learning about what is virtual mobility, understanding the concept, and understanding the open framework which is underpinning and challenging the new way of understanding virtual mobility. I think at this point it could be relevant that you could think about why it is relevant and why it is important for initial teacher education. What's the sense of learning about this now? What can how can support learning? What can you learn from the concept? And how could you develop your own skills as learners currently in higher education, but as future teachers? And what it could mean for your teacher's professional development. I have some little examples that I could introduce you, and maybe they could help you in starting thinking about how you could how you could develop or how you could be involved in open virtual mobilities. For example, one idea is the one that a student in his bachelor's thesis, the final project that students do when they finish their studies in higher education, is that he developed a project in which teachers from childhood education exchanged learning and experiences from other teachers in Reggio Emilia. That was very relevant, and the design of this student was very relevant because Reggio Emilia, as you may know, have been involved and have developed a quite well-known framework for childhood education. So, and in particular, the students in Ibiza are quite involved in this model and in this framework of children's education. And they love it a lot. So this student was able to think that virtual mobility could be very valuable for them to exchange, in particular, with teachers of this area and of this school of thought. Another student developed or wrote his MA thesis envisioning an activity on open virtual mobility frameworks and for secondary education. And in this case, the student designed a project in which his own students would exchange the learning and the collaboration with students from other islands in the Mediterranean and share the common problems and the possible common solutions they could share to solve these problems. He was able to develop this project because he based the idea on the e-twinning project, which is also an European framework for virtual mobilities in primary and secondary education. So what I am suggesting here is that we have teachers, and you as future teachers, we can be involved in virtual mobility because we feel it is relevant for higher education, but in particular, it is relevant for our future students, the ones that you will have when you start working and you start your stay at schools or higher education institutes, high schools, I was trying to refer. And the third activity that I would like to introduce you is the one that I've been working with some colleagues here at my university and colleagues at the University of Roma Tre. So here in teacher education at the University of the Balearic Islands in the technological subjects, we give students a wide range of activities so they can choose. One of the activities that they could choose was was the open virtual mobility activity. So students were able to choose to participate in an activity with other students doing teacher education in Italy, exactly from Roma Tre University. The activity, so we designed the activity into three main steps that was at the beginning learn about the concept, then develop the project with your international colleagues, and finally reflect on this learning. So what we ask and what we said to our students is that they had to imagine that they were in an Erasmus project, for example, so in an international context in which the other partners were the Italian teachers, and they were preparing a project for their students. Their students were primary students, and the aim was that the primary students learned about the cultural heritage of the other city, the other country, or the other context. So what we asked our students, our future students, is that they designed the project in which primary students would learn about the cultural heritage and would use collaborative tools, collaborative digital tools. So this means that these teachers would have to prepare what collaborative digital tools. And this was a very important learning for us because we wanted them to explore the different digital environments that we work in our different contexts. The result is that students said that they really learned about tools. They could introduce the tools they like most, but they were surprised about the other tools that the other students in Italy were presenting. So what it is objective and that we have been able to see and demonstrate and made evident is that students could learn and know more tools than we had prepared. So the curriculum of this program, in teacher education, was enhanced. Also, we could see that the students were engaged, but that was not so clear because there were difficulties for engagement. So we have to be aware that working with others in international context means developing skills, and that maybe we are not so used to work on, and that means a kind of difficulty. But nevertheless, we were motivated and the students were engaged. And they valued the skills, although they could have some difficulties. I really think, and we really think, that the activity was very good, was engaging, and really opened new learning contexts for us. I think virtual mobility is a relevant approach for learning in these current times. And for example, myself, I could just say that I have just started and I just have been initiated about virtual mobility and the open virtual mobility context. So I really think I must have greater depths in this. And I really think there is a lot to say about this. And I would like you to follow the topic as well and to keep learning about it and give this the opportunity, because probably there is a lot to say and the adventure is only starting. So please feel free to contact me if you would like more information, if you would like further help. But anyway, we can meet online wherever. You can just tweet me, whatever. So I hope we can meet sometimes here at my university or at yours. Thanks for your attention and see you soon.